Some famous VCs are just VCs. Others are starting universities for heroes. My guest today is one of the best known, one of the most entertaining venture capitalists in Silicon Valley, Tim Draper. And he's also the founder of a new university. Tim, welcome to TechCrunch TV.
Great, thanks for having me.
So Tim, we're not going to talk about investments today. We're not going to talk about business. We're talking about education. What is Draper University?
Well, Draper University of Heroes is a new kind of university. I've always wanted to start a university. I've always wanted to sort of improve education, and I started with a school voucher initiative, and I moved on to starting something called BizWorld, which teaches young kids how business works. And then I thought, well, I'll just lead by example, and I'll set something up, and I'm in a position where I can do it. And what do I know about education? I don't, but I know a lot about entrepreneurs. And so I have started a school that where people say that you can't train entrepreneurship. I'm doing what can't be done.
So when did you start it?
We started about a year ago, and I bought an old hotel in San Mateo, and I've renovated and changed it, and now it's a boarding school.
And is this a for-profit thing?
Yeah, it's a for-profit university. Our tuition is $9,500, but
which isn't a bad deal.
No, actually,
it's cheaper than Cal.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. It's cheaper than most schools for a quarter, and the reason we're staying as a for-profit and we are not accredited is that we want the flexibility. We want to be able to do things that other schools would never attempt to do.
So I know you've made a lot of investments in learning, in new online universities. You must see a lot of pitches. What are you doing with your university that isn't being done outside?
Well, for one thing, our university is not, we have no faculty, no full-time faculty. The people who come and speak to our students are all very successful in their fields, and so our students get first-hand knowledge.
Give me some examples. I assume you're teaching.
I do some teaching. Ron Johnson teaches merchandising.
Oh my God.
Yeah. We have Tony Shea, who teaches corporate culture.
And are you paying these people?
No, but they like doing it, and it's a fun thing to do. And there's always some sort of a quid pro quo. I go to Tony Shea's Las Vegas thing, and we kind of work out how often he comes and how often I come. Ron may actually become more a part of it. And,
so this is kind of like a Huffington Post for education.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's a nice way to look at it. Now, that's not all we do, though. We try to get inside people's heads and see where their barriers are. And then we change things. So like we change the rules to everything. We change the rules to baseball and Risk and Monopoly.
Well, what are you doing with Monopoly?
With Monopoly, well...
no get out of jail free?
No, Monopoly's sort of more playful. It has to do with, you can hit somebody with a pillow if something happens, if they don't pay their rent or whatever. Risk, we have something called nuclear risk. And baseball, so
you destroy the whole board in one.
You can destroy, well, if you fire a nuke, there's a nuclear winter in all of the adjacent countries. In baseball, it's only one pitch from your own team. All the fielders change positions every pitch. And so they're all moving at all times. And then if you miss the ball or foul it off, you have to run backwards down to third base.
So this is a university of disruption.
The idea is to change things and be very comfortable changing things.
Including the students.
Including the students. And then we have survival training. So we want to know physical and both urban and rural survival. And we have different programs for each of them. There's, in the rural survival training, there's how do you make fire, how do you suture, how do you build a boat. In the urban survival training, we change it up regularly, but you have 24 hours to get a job, or you have a whole variety of different things that we do. So is this
a kind of a different kind of slant, a different play on Peter Thiel's investment in smart kids to get them out of university? Because what you're doing obviously doesn't sound like traditional university.
Yeah, we're not trying to replace university. I think universities do a good job,
But are the kids
particularly
going
for certain types of
Are the kids
people.
going from your experience to Stanford or from Stanford, or are they?
Yeah, we actually have, we work quite a bit with Stanford. In fact, Tina Seelig, who runs their entrepreneurial program, is on the board. But we, and some of the Stanford students get credit for coming to Draper University for a quarter. They'll get a quarter's worth of credit or something like that. And that's just with certain professors, and it's like an independent study for them. Going back, we have found that people go to Draper University, and then if they go back to school, their grades all improve. And if they don't go back to school, they go off and run a business. I don't think we've created any dropouts, but they have in their heads a new platform from which to think and where to go with their life and how to approach the idea of getting a job. They actually go and they create their own job. They realize that the world's out there to be reinvented and changed and improved. And they find some extraordinary...
So this is boot camp, essentially, for entrepreneurs. Is that fair?
I don't think so, because we get down to what they're really made of. So we're not just kind of push, 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 shove, shove, shove. We're kind of... it's immersive. They go through a process, and they come out the other end, and they look at the world in a new way.
Who are you pissing off here? Who when they hear about Draper University, says, "Oh, that's terrible. That's a disgrace. I don't like that idea."
Well, I think the other venture capitalists are a little bit nervous.
Are they a bit envious of you?
A little bit nervous because we've set up, in effect, an R&D center for venture capital. Do you nail down your students so that if they do an entrepreneurial thing that they have to do it with you? No. They're free. They're free as the breeze. But we do have an incubator that follows Boost.vc that's being run by my son. Adam is an incubator that runs near our university, and some of our students are applying to be Boost members, and if they do that, then yeah, of course, there would be ownership in their
So
businesses.
this is a kind of a talent play, in a way, from your point of view.
Yeah, we're looking for the absolute best and the brightest, but not necessarily the ones with the best grades, although that's nice. We don't actually have grades on our application. We're looking for creativity. We're looking for people who have just an inkling of what it would take to change the world in some way, or that little thing that says, I'm angry about this, or I have a big opportunity here, or something is going on in their mind. There's a spark, and what we're trying to do is ignite that spark.
Can I come, Tim?
You can, because we're going to do a 2-week executive session. But generally, we're looking for people who are 18 to 28.
Well, you're going to have a lot. I guarantee one thing is that there's going to be a lot of people watching this and say, I want to go to this thing. So firstly, how many people do you accept? How does it work? How much does it cost? Very briefly.
So we take 40. Okay, my pitch, very simply.
And he has a little piece of paper.
Due
he couldn't remember it all.
August 5th. Session dates September 30th to November 15th.
And where'd they get the application from? The website?
And the application's at draperuniversity.com. And so the fall opens September 30th, goes to October
40
15th.
people you accept. How many applicants?
And we take 40, as many as show up.
How many do you expect? 400, 4,000?
No, I expect more like 200, 300 in that
And do you have a
range.
committee making a call on who to accept?
And we have a committee on who to accept. And we have and that's good. It actually works out quite well. And I have sort of trained them to look for certain things, real spark, and which is different from academic
How do you find
achievement.
spark?
We're looking for someone who's willing to think a little differently and maybe stick their neck out a little bit. And that's kind of what we're thinking.
And how much does it cost?
And it's $9,500, or
right,
we're starting a new program that's the online school that's this time it's $399. It's going to be $2,500.
$3.99.
$399.
Oh, okay.
And it's going to run parallel to the Immersive boarding school. And we're really quite excited about that too, that we'll have an online and an offline school.
Well, Tim Draper, you've sold me on this thing. I don't think you could make me into a successful entrepreneur, but I'd love to attend, or I'd love to come down and actually look at it. And I hope you'll send some of your kids onto the show to talk about their experience and how you're teaching them to think about the world differently. Tim Draper, the well-known VC who has also now become the father, the founder of Draper University for Heroes. It's a real pleasure, a real honor to have you on TechCrunch TV.
It was great to be here.